This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Portland City Council passes a new homeless camping ban that immediately goes into effect, but enforcement of the ban won't take place right away. We'll explain what needs to happen first, coming up in our top story.
And crews are working hard to remove graffiti around Portland, but ODOT says taggers are hitting locations they've already cleaned. The latest on cleanup efforts and how ODOT plans to deal with graffiti-covered road signs specifically ahead.
Also, First Lady Jill Biden coming to Portland later today. We'll let you know what we know about that visit coming up here later this hour.
Hey, glad you're here with us on this Thursday morning. A big visit and big weather to talk about.
I'll tell you what we know about the First Lady. She prefers 80-degree weather. That's why, of course, she's arriving today.
Obviously.
Where are you coming up with that? Sources, please.
We've been researching this for months.
Okay. Researching.
You know, the warmest we've been so far this year, we've told you multiple times recently, 78 degrees twice in the month of April. Today, absolutely full confidence we'll hit 80 for the very first time in 2024. All right, clear. There's St. Helens over there sticking up. We're at 49. Winds are currently calm. I'm assuming, there's no reason not to assume, that it will not be as breezy today as it was yesterday when we had northwest winds bouncing to about 26 miles per hour out at the airport. Here's the warm-up. The wind direction today will be easterly, and with east winds, you typically warm up rapidly right from the get-go. I've got a 70 at noon and getting up as warm as 83 at 5 p.m. Here's Chris.
That looks awesome with all that sunshine. All right, the drive this morning in pretty good shape as well out of Vancouver through North Portland. This is I-5. Your southbound commute over on the right-hand side of your screen, rolling right along there, so we look good on that side of town. Out towards Hillsborough, Highway 26, there's your westbound drive. That is moving good as well. And the trip out of Wilsonville, northbound over the Boone Bridge, the headlights there, that's your northbound commute. That looks good as well. Christine, so far, no crashes, no unexpected freeway delays.
Yeah, looking good out there. Thank you, Chris. A new Portland camping ban is now in effect. Portland City Council unanimously passed it yesterday, hoping it will withstand legal challenges.
China Green joins us now to break down what's covered in the new ban and when enforcement will start. China?
Good morning. So those include potential fines or jail time up to a week, largely only if a camper refuses alternative shelter. It bans the use of fires or gas heaters at campsites and bans campers from setting up any structures or causing environmental damage. It requires campers to keep all their personal belongings within 2 feet of the outside of their tent, and violators can be punished with a fine of up to $100 or up to 7 days in jail or both. Although the ordinance does include language encouraging the district attorney to divert offenders into emergency shelter programs or other services when possible in lieu of pursuing convictions for violating the camping ban.
This ordinance has been carefully crafted with input from legal experts to ensure its legality and its enforceability.
When it comes to fining people in poverty, all that does is deepen their poverty. $100 fine to the people we serve might as well be $100,000.
The new ban passed as an emergency ordinance, meaning it will take effect immediately and has, but it won't be enforced immediately. There will be an educational phase along with special training for police officers before they begin enforcement. So it will take a few weeks, according to the mayor. Christine?
Okay, thank you for that report, China. The Oregon Department of Transportation has allocated millions of dollars and hired a contractor to paint over some problem spots, but taggers decided to hit them again. Daisy Caballero followed a crew trying to clean it all up.
It'd be nice to see it clean again.
Jack Berryman has been cleaning up graffiti in Portland for the last 2 years.
Usually you only need to do one coat of paint for these.
Berryman is with the Portland Graffiti Removal, the company the Oregon Department of Transportation chose to partner with to clean up highways and freeways around the Rose City as part of the $20 million spending bill from Oregon lawmakers.
Everybody in this community knows that this is a problem.
Don Hamilton with ODOT says crews started this work in the middle of April and have since painted over more than 1,100 sites. But unfortunately, taggers have already hit locations they've cleaned up.
We're working very much with police, and police have teams out there to try to bring these taggers to justice.
The same taggers Barrymore encounters occasionally while cleaning up what they consider artwork.
They usually just stare at us, give us dirty looks, and then go away for the most. They don't do a whole bunch. They just tell us don't buff our stuff pretty much.
He also comes across trash, needles, and drugs on top of the tricky locations like this one that he needs to cover up.
If it helps me to get my job done, I'll clean some stuff up sometimes, but I'm not trying to get any like diseases or anything like that.
The $4 million for graffiti cleanup will be good until June of next year. After that, Hamilton says lawmakers may look over adding any additional funds for graffiti cleanup to ODOT's next budget.
Everybody, I think, wants us to make sure that we can do what we can to stop this and to clean up the community.
Daisy Caballero, KGW News.
By the way, ODOT says those big green road signs that are on the highway aren't cheap to replace. They cost about $8,000 a piece.
All right, let's take a look at some other headlines we're following this morning, starting with Portland police, who arrested a man for murder nearly 2 months after a deadly shooting downtown. On the night of March 17th, investigators say Aaron Beasley was fatally shot on Southwest 10th near the Central Library. On Tuesday, police arrested 33-year-old Alexander Lewis in Gresham. Lewis appeared in court yesterday and pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder and felony firearm possession.
And in Aloha, a man was arrested for a homicide near Intel's campus. Sheriff's deputies found 53-year-old Chad Thibodeau dead yesterday morning from what appeared to be a head injury. Witnesses say they saw a man running away. Deputies say they caught 24-year-old Austin Chan less than an hour later. They say the two knew each other. Chan is now charged with second-degree murder. And Portland police are hoping you might be able to help them identify the man in these photos, who they say is behind a string of home burglaries dating back to 2022. They happened mainly in the Northwest Hills, Washington Park areas. Police did not release addresses or specify exactly how many burglaries he's suspected of. But if you recognize him, contact Portland police.
Well, with much warmer weather on the way, and Rod's going to talk about that here in just a second, it's also important to remember that local lakes and rivers are still very cold. So the Sandy River at Oxbow Park, for example, was only 44 degrees yesterday afternoon. The Willamette River in the Selwood area is running in the low 50s still. So health experts say any water under 60 degrees can lead to cold water shock and increase the risk of drowning. On top of that warning, they're also reminding people to avoid swimming in lakes and rivers alone. And of course, always keep a close eye on kids.
Yeah, good warning, especially because we've got some warm weather on the way. 90, you said, potentially on Friday?
Friday, yeah. It probably should be part of that story. Maybe you mentioned it, I didn't catch it. I mean, the river levels are also pretty high right now.
We did not mention that.
Think of all the rain that we've had. So you've got the dangerously cold temps, you've got the swift running water. And if you're new to our area, we have, it just seems like too many drownings every year. And part of that reason is we do mainly recreate in rivers. And rivers can be dangerous. So, yeah, pretty to look at, not the time of year to get in. Here's a look at the satellite picture. We get into that warm weather. And yeah, Christine mentioned one of our headlines, 90-degree temperatures still look to be possible tomorrow. Here's the high pressure setup. The weather system's holding out. California, Nevada, Oregon, Washington, everybody's dry, everybody's sunny, and it will be that way. Low clouds are going to be offshore thanks to an east wind. Those low clouds still set to return to the beaches, it looks like, at some point Saturday overnight into Sunday morning. And that brings me to the weekend getaway at the coast forecast, or if you live there, it's your forecast. 77 to 86 will be the range tomorrow with an east wind at the coast. Saturday, still sunny, still warm, not as warm, 70 to 80. Now, Saturday's the day that we start off with east winds in the morning, then the wind direction veers back to the west during the day. That's the reason for the cool off. But and this would be mostly 70s at the beach, obviously. And then Sunday, now we have the low clouds, maybe fog, maybe misty weather, and temperatures back down into the 60s. All right, here's the beautiful pre-sunrise colors. The sun up this morning right now, just a little bit more than 30 minutes away, so we're getting close. We're at 49. The winds are currently calm. 42 up in Astoria. Kelso's 43. The Dow's in the low 40s. Ben's at 41. We are now freezing in Burns at 31. John Day's at 33 out east. And here are the forecast numbers for today. Well up into the 70s at the coast, and wouldn't be surprised if some places like Seaside and Tillamook, for example, get up to 80 today with the wind direction being from the east. we'll have today and tomorrow where, at least in spots, the coast will be about the same temperature as the inland valleys. And here come the inland valley numbers. McMinnville 79, Salem 81, Corvallis 80. Again, these would represent the first 80-degree temperatures of the year so far. Longview 80, Battleground 82, Vancouver 83. Certainly on target to be hitting 80 for the first time this time of the year. The records in the book right now are mostly up to around 90 degrees, and that's where we will be tomorrow. 83 today, full confidence we hit 80 or better. And then 90 tomorrow. We may or may not make it. The record tomorrow is 89. I misspoke yesterday when I said the record was 90 out at PDX for tomorrow. It's 89. And then 88 Saturday, we switched back to a west wind, and that cools us down to 81 for a really lovely Mother's Day with mostly sunny skies. And then we'll continue to cool off into the 70s to start next week. Still no rain in sight on the 7-day forecast. Well, really, it's all about the temperature. We're just going to be sitting around watching the temperature, sitting on the front porch, watching the temp. That's what we're going to be doing.
That's what Rod's going to be doing. Okay, thanks, Rod.